Hi everyone, welcome back to my Java tutorial series. In today's video, we are going to dive deep into a critical component of the Java platform, Java Virtual Machine. Understanding JVM is crucial not only for writing efficient code, but also for your technical interviews. Let's get started. The Java Virtual Machine is essential for running Java applications on any device or operating system without modification. It converts Java bytecode into machine code, enabling the code to be executed by the host machine. This ensures that Java is a write once, run anywhere language. The JVM's architecture is composed of several key components: class loader subsystem, memory area, execution engine, native interface, and native method libraries. When we compile a Java program, the Java compiler, JavaC, converts our source code into bytecode, which is stored in .class files. JVM starts by loading these class files using class loader subsystem. This subsystem reads the bytecode from .class files into the JVM memory. Once the bytecode is loaded, JVM verifies it. The bytecode verifier check for any violation of the Java language rules and ensure that the code does not perform any unsafe operations. This step is crucial for maintaining security and stability. Next, the JVM allocates memory for the program in various runtime data areas. The execution engine is where the actual execution of the bytecode happens. Each component plays a crucial role in the functioning of the JVM. Now let's dive deep into each component of JVM. The class loader subsystem is responsible for loading class files. This subsystem includes several components. The class loader performs three key functions: loading, linking, and initialization. Let's talk about loading. The class loader reads the .class file and brings the bytecode into the JVM. Bootstrap class loader loads the core Java libraries located in the Java home/lib directory. Extension class loader loads classes from the extension directory, typically Java home/lib/ext. System class loader loads classes from the system class path specified by the class path environment variable. Now let's see linking. Under linking, three processes again happening: verify, prepare, resolve. Under verify, it will check whether a .class file is generated by valid compiler or not. If verification fail, it will throw java.lang.verify error. Then it will go to prepare. Under prepare, it will allocate memory for class variables and assign default values to them, which means all the static variables which are present inside a class has been allocated memory and being initialized by the default values. Then it will go to resolve. It converts symbolic reference in the class file to direct reference from method area, where your class level information is present. Then finally initialization. All static variables are assigned with original value and static block will get executed. It means under prepare, all the static variables has been assigned with default values, now has been again reassigned with the original values which is present in the code, and if any static block which is present inside a class will get executed. The JVM organizes memory into several runtime data area. These are different memory area used during the execution of the Java program. First, method area. This area stores class level data including static variable, constant pool, and method code. Next, heap area. It is the runtime data area where objects and their instance variable are allocated. One JVM will have only one heap area. Third, stack area. Each thread has its own JVM stack, which means if there are n number of threads which are running inside your Java code, then there will be n threads which are present inside Java stack. Each stack store frames. A frame holds local variable, operand stack, and return address. Fourth, PC register. Each thread has its own PC register, which holds the address of the current Java JVM instruction being executed. Fifth, native method stack. Contains all the native method information used in the application. The execution engine is the brain of the JVM, where the actual execution of the bytecode happens. First, interpreter reads and executes bytecode line by line. Simple and easy to implement but slow in performance. Second, JIT compiler improves performance by compiling bytecode into native machine code at runtime. It will keep a count for every method wherever JVM come across. Once this count reaches the threshold value, it will compile that method code into machine code and will use that generated code to improve the performance of the JVM. Third, garbage collector manages memory by deallocating memory occupied by the unreachable objects. It uses various algorithms to perform garbage collection. Native interface. This component facilitates interaction with native applications and libraries. Last, native method libraries. These are the platform-specific libraries required by the JVM to interact with the underlying OS. These libraries contain native code and the JVM uses them to perform tasks like I/O operation, memory management, and etc. The lifecycle of a JVM can be broken down into several stages. First, load. The class loader loads the .class file into memory. Second, verify. The bytecode verifier checks the code for correctness and security, which makes Java code secure. Third, prepare. The JVM allocates memory for class variable and initializes them to default values. Fourth, resolve. Convert symbolic reference into direct reference in the method area. Fifth, initialize. Execute static initializes and assign actual values to static variable. Sixth, execute. The execution engine interpreter or JIT compiles the bytecode into native machine code and execute it. Seventh, unload. Classes that are no longer needed are unloaded from memory and the garbage collector reclaims memory. Now let's talk about some of the key features of JVM. First, platform independence. Enable Java code to run on any device or OS with a JVM implementation. Second, automatic memory management. The garbage collector automatically handles memory allocation and deallocation. Third, security. Provides a secure environment through bytecode verification and runtime checks. Fourth, performance optimization. The JIT compiler improves performance by converting bytecode into native machine code at runtime. Now let's see how JVM works. When we compile a Java program, the following step occurs. First, compilation. The Java compiler JavaC compiles the Java source code, that is .java file, into bytecode, that is .class file. Then class loading. The JVM class loader loads the class file into memory. Third, bytecode verification. The bytecode verifier checks the bytecode for validity and security constraint. Fourth, execution. The JVM's execution engine JIT compiler compiles the bytecode into native machine code and execute it. Fifth, garbage collection. The JVM's garbage collector periodically reclaims memory used by objects that are no longer in use. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this will give you a clear understanding of Java Virtual Machine. If you found this video helpful, please like, share and subscribe to the channel for more tutorials. See you in the next video.